Now that we had a brief look at how we can query embedded documents and arrays, let me come back to my comparison selectors here. We had a look at most of them, but we did not look at $in or NIN. Now, what do these two operators do? Now, for that, let's come back to, let's say, the runtime. I'll reach out to my movies again and pretty print the results. And the filter I'll specify here will check the runtime field. And I want to make sure that the runtime is either 30 or 42. Now, we know that in our data set, I could achieve this with lower than or equal to 42 because we just happen to have data with 30, 42, and 60 minutes in there. So this will give us all the items that have a runtime lower than or equal 42, which is all the items with 30 or 42. But of course, that is not the case for every data set, and we might not even know that our data looks like that. So if we know there are two discrete values we want to check for, we can use the $in operator. In takes an array, and now this does not mean it looks for this array, but in this array, we specify all the values that will be accepted as values for this key. So in our case, 30 and 42. So it will find us all documents that have a runtime of 30 or 42, but not of 60. Or if we had 15 minutes, these would also be excluded. So if I now hit enter, we get back a bunch of results, and you should only find runtime equal to 30 in there, or a runtime equal to 42, like for this document. Now, NIN is just the opposite. We could say we want to find everything where the value is not in this range, or this is not a range, but in this set of values. So now we would find all values, all entries, where the runtime is not equal to 30 or 42. So if I now hit enter, in our data set, this will now only include items with a runtime of 60. But again, if you had more values there, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, these would now also be included in our result set here. So that is in and not in, these two missing comparison operators. And with that, we had a look at all comparison operators. So let's now move on to logical operators in the next module.